Okay, so this is an interesting one that a lot of people reviewed, so I figured I would also do my review since I live in this city.
I was with my best friend from 19 to 26 years old. That dude was my everything, okay? This is the story that he would tell everybody when they would ask what kind of person I am.
So for starters, even saying that they're your best friend from the perspective of a girl, if a girl calls her man her best friend, right away in my head, I'm starting to think, how does she perceive him? I've never been a believer in the whole best friend narrative. I think men and women need polarity in their relationships. And when that polarity exists, I think it's really hard to have that person also be your best friend. When I think of best friend, I think of a person I can say anything to without judgment whatsoever, or them changing their behavior towards me because of what I said. This is most definitely the case with women, as you can't tell a woman everything. You can tell them some things in some cases, but you can't tell them everything because they will judge you based on that information. Let's keep going.
Been together for like 2.5 years at this point, maybe 2 years, and he had gotten signed to Universal Music, an amazing producer, artist. Fantastic. And he was living in Vegas, and I showed up at his place in Vegas for the first time since he had moved there.
So she was banking on a lottery ticket. She most likely felt or thought he was a potential riser and decided to go all in on this. Not necessarily a bad move on her part, I guess.
This man was sleeping on a blow-up mattress, and I was like, there was no way that the man that I love is going to sleep on a blow-up mattress. I had no job at this point. I had just moved to the US, was getting my green card. I couldn't work. With the little money that I did have, I went and I bought him a mattress and put it in the back of my Passat, okay? And then proceeded to carry that mattress up 3 flights of stairs at like 9 o'clock.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw a comment out about this, and I think to a certain demographic of people, what I'm about to say is going to come off really, really poorly, but I don't care. I'm going to say it anyways. Most of the time, when girls do things like this for us, we accept it, we nod our heads, and we pretend to love it, but we really didn't want it in the first place. Now, I know it's crazy to say that because a lot of people are going to see this and think to themselves, oh, but she went so above and beyond and got him all this stuff and whatnot. The truth is this, right? She projected her needs onto him. A guy will happily sleep on a blow-up mattress if it means he's going to get to the next level at some point. It's not that a guy prefers this state of being, it's just something that you must do, so you deal with it and do it. We as men understand that whenever someone does something for us, they're always going to hold that over our head. The fact that she's on TikTok talking about this and bringing this up after the fact proves that very point. If she did it from her heart with no interest whatsoever, she wouldn't feel the need to come to social media to talk about it. Like I said, he probably appreciated the effort that she put in, but he probably didn't care either way because a blow-up mattress is okay temporarily while you're trying to build something when you don't have money. If you asked him this question, he probably would have said, yeah, I wish that she spent that money on something else. We really needed other things. She did that instead without asking me. So I said nothing and just accepted it and we went on. For any girl that's watching this, which there's not too many of them, about 20% of the audience, but regardless, if you're watching this, understand, we will tell you what we want. When we're focused on a mission or a goal, we don't need all of the creature comforts. We'll just suck it up and deal with it anyways. We do this at times when we're trying to conserve resources for things that we actually need. Let's keep going.
In the morning in the scorching Vegas heat, walk in there, I'm like panting, sweating, dying, because that's what you do when you love somebody.
And then you're advertising on social media.
That's the kind of person that I am in a relationship. I will give 100% of myself and the last bit of energy that I have because I love you. That is what a woman does.
Okay. I'd love to ask him. There's always two sides to the story. We always get the female perspective, obviously, because they're the most outspoken about it and they're a protected group. Their experience is the correct experience, obviously, at least from the standard societal perspective.
Yeah, we can talk about how I cooked and cleaned for him and helped him with his business and helped him become a fucking millionaire. And now he lives in a nice penthouse apartment in Vancouver. I don't need to talk about that because I know what kind of woman I am when I show up in a relationship. You want to know I ruined that relationship? We were long distance for a period of time. I went during the pandemic and I was staying with him in Vancouver and something changed. And you want to know what changed? He started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit. He started listening to content about MGTOW and that man changed. And I would sit across from him and not understand the person that I was seeing. I felt like I was waking up to somebody that I did not know. I am qualified to talk about this. I am qualified to understand the repercussions that red pill content have on men because the person that I wanted to spend my life with, the person I was in love with, the person I wanted to marry changed overnight.
I have such a strong feeling that this isn't the case. What it most likely was from the guy's perspective is that the relationship wasn't where he wanted it to be. Was she naggy and annoying and always trying to have some sort of leg up in their relationship? Chances are 100%. Now, obviously, I don't know the full story, but I do live in Vancouver, and to the ex-boyfriend of this girl, if you do see this video, please reach out to me. I don't intend on putting this girl on blast or anything like this, but I just want to know for my own curiosity, what is the actual story behind the scenes? A lot of guys, when they go online, they start to realize things they didn't know were true before. During these realizations, they look at themselves and see they're not doing what they should be doing or they want to be doing. A lot of times attached to that, unfortunately, is a woman. A woman that they picked out of convenience, not for the right reason, of course, and now they're stuck with and don't know what to do. Usually what happens is these types of women don't necessarily bolster the masculinity of that man. Now, once again, I don't know the exact details of this story, so for all we know, he could have did her dirty and she actually felt the need to come to social media and talk about it. Based on my experience with men and women, though, the stories always tend to be a little bit biased, so I don't really know what to believe.
Because of the content like that. And I see now the men who do watch that content. I hear the things that they say because I would listen to it. I actually started consuming that content because I wanted to understand what happened. To all the men who asked me that question, there's your answer.
Just for clarity's sake, she's answering the question, what do you bring into a man's life? Honest question. What she essentially did to answer this question is just pick off some surface level examples from her biased perspective about what she brings to the relationship. The unfortunate reality, though, is that she never mentioned what his perspective was on their relationship. She never brought up his feelings. She never brought up what he said to her and what problems he had with her. It's always about him, what I did, I'm special, I'm good, I did everything correct, he did everything wrong, I did everything right. I have an incredibly hard time buying into this. Anyways, I'd love to know the real story, so we'll see what happens. I will say as a final statement, judging just by the way she's talking, I can't imagine that she's that pleasant to be with long term. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check my links in the description below.